Hello everybody. Today we are going to study the ARM7 core data flow model. So what do you first understand what is the core data flow model? We've already studied the architecture of ARM, but what is this core data flow model? The core data flow model, it focuses on how the data it is moving in the data path. Okay, so between the registers ALU and the instructions are going to be executed, what is the flow of uh, in instructions, you can see what is the flow of the information inside that. That is what we mean by core data flow. So let's understand that. So this is the brief or the pictorial representation of what the data flow model or the unit is for ARM7. So in this, we have different units which are working, which are connected by different buses and signals, which are working together in synchronization uh, to process or carry out a particular instruction. So we'll understand this step by step. We'll start with that. So let's say this is my data path unit or the core data flow unit which is there. So first thing is as the data enters. So data when it enters, first thing is we have to see whenever any fetch operation is there from the memory, it is from the memory which is going to come. So that can be instruction and that can be a data. If it is an instruction, it will go to the instruction decoder so that it could be decoded in the next phase. And if it is not an instruction, it is a data, then it comes to the sign extend unit which is shown within this red circle. Okay, now what is this sign extend unit basically? Sign extend unit is unit which is uh, actually extending the 8-bit or the 16-bit data into 32-bit. We know that all the information processing in ARM7 is going to take place on 32-bit data. Okay, so this 8-bit data has to be converted to 32. If it is unsigned, all the left spaces, all the spaces which are vacant, they are filled by zeros. Whereas if it is a sign, then your MSB, that is the sign, but it is copied into the all the empty slots which are there to complete that, to make that number 32-bit. So this is what the purpose of sign extend is. Once the data which we are getting from the memory, okay, if that is sign extended, that is made into 32, but it has to be loaded into the register. Now this comes from the load store architecture. You should remember that no processing of information in ARM7 can take place in the memory itself. You have to break the data into the registers. So it brings that 32-bit data into the register. Each register is of 32-bit and we have 16 user registers which are available to us. So from the registers, this data has to be shifted to the execution unit. Normal for all the logical operations and all the normal arithmetic operations of addition and subtraction, we have these buses which are there, which are shifting the data to the arithmetic logic unit. Okay, okay. Now in this Rn and Rm, they are serving as the two sources. They are the operands which are coming, which we need. We are needing two operands to process addition, subtraction. So these Rn and Rm, they are indicating those two operands. And A and B are the local buses which are there. Okay. The second operand, that data always passes through a barrel shifter. This is, it is going to come through barrel shifter. If there is a shift operation, it is used, otherwise it is not used. This feature is called your inline barrel shifting, and we have very well seen the usage in the instructions as, let's say in this example, and R1, R2, R3, LS, L. So it is already, the data in the R3 it is going to be shifted by two places and then it is going to be given to ALU for addition. So A and B are the local buses which are used for shifting the data from the register file to the ALU, which is responsible for the subtraction, addition and the logical operations which are to be performed. For multiplication, Okay, these are the local masses which are shown. So for multiplication, we have a MAC unit. MAC stands for multiply accumulate unit. Okay, so we know that ARM7 it is having 64-bit long multiplication which is allowed. That is when I'm going to multiply two 32-bit numbers, the result can be 64-bit. 32 into 32 gives me maximum of 64-bit. Normally, earlier processors they were not allowing full 32-bit. Long multiplication came into ARM only in the ARM version 5. Earlier versions they were not having long multiplication because the capacity of one register is 32 bits. So only 32 bit, the lower bits they were getting stored, others they were not getting stored. But in this case we are having this, and multiply and accumulate means we can add a number along with the multiplication. That is the second number which is there, second operand, that is Rm. The number which is coming through AC, that is ACC, that is added to the operand Rm and then it is multiplied by this. So this is a simple multiply instruction where R2 is multiplied by R3 and result is stored in R1. This is long multiply, which stands for result being 64-bit. So the lower bit of the result, lower word of the 32-bit word, it is stored in the destination register RD low, whereas uh, in the RD high we are going to have a higher bit register, higher bit byte or word 32-bit result of the multiplication. There is one mistake, we need to remove an operand here. It accepts multiply long. S stands for signed, U stands for unsigned, MUL is your multiplied, L in the end it is this prefix is for signed, this is for unsigned, this L that is suffix that is for long, that is 64-bit multiplication. Okay, and it is going to accept four operands. So I have RD low, RD high, R2 and R3. R4 is not required, it doesn't accept 5. MLA is what? It is multiply and accumulate. Now, as I was telling you that it allows addition also, so it means what? So in this case, R3 is added to R2 and then this is multiplied by R1 and the result is stored in R5, R4. Further, multiply and accumulate can also be long multiplication. So for that again, a suffix of L has to be added here and again it is going to be the signed or unsigned. So that those are further you can say enhancements of this instruction, but basically this is also responsible for arithmetic operation of multiplication, and in addition it has the facility of accumulating or adding. Accumulation stands only for addition. Okay, so next we come to the address register. Okay, now whatever is the result of the ALU, we know that ARM is going to follow load store architecture. So we cannot store the result directly in the memory. It has to go into a destination register. So this red path that is indicating the path or the bus which is going to put back the result into the destination register RD from the execution unit, that is ALU. If it is an addition, subtraction or logical operation. If not, if it is a multiply, then MAC unit is going to use this bus to write back the result to the destination register. Okay, and we know that R5, that is PC, program counter. The function of the program counter is what? It is responsible for next fetching. Okay, so ALU is also giving my this data to the address register. Suppose it has to be stored in the memory. So what is happening? Let's say I have written a program of performing addition, and after addition, the result has to be stored in the destination register was R3. So from R3, it has to be stored in some memory location, let's say M1. So that ALU, it is going to put first thing is that result into RD and then give this to the address register. Address register is going to load that address of M1 memory location on the address bus so that it can be written to that particular memory. And once this RD, it is written, destination register, and store instruction has come, this memory write signal also goes to the memory. So it is written back to the memory. Okay. And otherwise, PC contents are also given to address register because PC is responsible for fetching the next instruction. So the address register is giving this to the incrementer, which in case of sequential processing, that is when my program code is written in the consecutive memory location, it is going to increment the address by 4 memory locations so that it points out to the next uh, instruction which is there in the sequence. Okay, and that incremented address is again written back to the register, which is then updated to the this R15 through the signal. From incrementer it is going to the this it should go here. Yes, this line, and to write it to R15 and update the PC to the next location which has to be fetched. I hope it is clear. So it is using actually two signals are coming to the address register. The one coming from the ALU, it is responsible for putting for to be used by load or the store instruction only, in which case we need to access the memory to either load the data or write the data to the memory. Whereas this line which is coming to the address register, this is for actually telling the current PC contents. Okay, the current register which is used, address which is used. Okay, so I hope this is clear with you. What is core data flow model?